Evening one and all present in my online class. So this is Sandeep Kumar Das. I am going to present the topic electric charges and field, which is covered in the 12th class physics syllabus, and it is included also in electrostatic portion for BTech students. So I will be covering, because in BTech syllabus obviously it is in electromagnetic theory and the topic is electrostatics. So obviously I will be covering which will be relatable to both the plus 2 as well as plus 2 12th class and as well as for the BTech students. So first of all I will define all the names, that is nothing but electric, what do you mean by electric charge, what do you mean by electric field, and what do you mean by electrostatics. So let me first define the charge. Charge is nothing but the quantity of electricity. So basically it may be positive charge and negative charge, So basically it is having four nature. It is quantization of charge. So that may be whenever I am going to, the charge is quantized. So that means it is equal to plus minus Ne, where n is a integer. So n is a integer. And E is nothing but the charge of an electron, as you know. It is 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19 coulomb. So next one, first of all, that is quantization of charge. So next one is, the next property of the charge is nothing but the charge is conserved. Charge is conserved. So that means the total number of positive charge and negative charge is constant. Similarly, the third one, as you know, so that is nothing but it follows the principle of superposition. So in a particular surface, if there are number of charges, so that can be added. Q is equal to Q1 plus Q2 plus Q3, like that. So it follows the scalar addition property. Next one. So next one is nothing but the invariance of charges. So it is nothing but the invariance of charge. Charge is invariant. So charge is invariant. So these are nothing but the properties of the charges. So having said that, similarly, what do you mean by the electrostatics? As you know that electrostatics deals with the charges at rest. Electrostatics is nothing but the charges at rest. And electric field, what do you mean by electric field? Electric field is a region where a charge experiences a force. So first of all, let us go for this one, this explanation by Coulomb's law. First of all will be Coulomb's law. So Coulomb's law, what is Coulomb's law? So there will be both scalar and vector representation. So Coulomb's law states that, so first of all, first law states that the like charge that repel each other and the opposite charge that attracts each other. So similarly, the second law states that, the second law is the force of attraction or repulsion between two point charges is directly proportional to the product of the charges and inversely proportional to the distance of separation between them. Suppose, for example, these are two charges Q1 and Q2, irrespective of the polarity I am telling you. So F, suppose F is nothing but the force. So force will be proportional. The Coulomb's law will be, so that is directly proportional to the product of the charges, and that is inversely proportional. Suppose the distance is R. Suppose this distance is R. So that is proportional, inversely proportional to R square. So if you combine these two equations, so we will get F proportional to Q1 into Q2 divided by R square. So this one again is equal to, so F, if you will be equalizing this one, it will be a constant. So 1 by, that constant is nothing but 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0 into Q1 into Q2 by R square, where epsilon 0 indicates the permittivity of free space. If there is a medium, then that will be epsilon R. So this is nothing but the scalar representation of the Coulomb's force. So we will be going for the vector representation of the Coulomb's force then. So for that, let us take this one. Suppose Q1 and Q2 are two forces here. So let me wipe out this one. Suppose Q1 and Q2, and this is having, this one is the origin. Suppose this distance is R1 and this distance is R2. The distance from the origin. Now the force on 1 due to 2 will be directed across. So you see, this one will be, suppose this one will be R1 and this one will be R2. Now suppose I am finding out the force on Q1 due to Q2. The direction will be like this. So it will be nothing but force on 1 due to 2. So it will be F21. So what will be the force on 2 due to 1? It will be nothing but it will be directed along this direction. It will be F12. Now having said that, what will be this one? When I am taking, suppose I will be finding out the force 1, force on 1 due to 2. So it will be nothing but F21. So F21 is nothing but 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0, that is a constant. If we take the value, it will be 9 into 10 to the power 9 into Q1 into Q2 divided by, what is the distance here? This magnitude is, you see, if you are taking this direction, so this one is, we have to take the triangle force of addition. So this one is R1 and this one is R2. So if I take along this direction, so it will be nothing but, this one will be nothing but R21. So R21 is nothing but, if I will be taking the vector sum of these three, so I can write this one is R2 plus R21 is nothing but, you see, this one plus this one is nothing but R1. So I can write R21 is nothing but R1 minus R2. So this will be nothing but R1 minus R2. So as I am writing it here, it will be nothing but R21 magnitude. So R1 minus R2. So this one square. Now if I am taking the vector representation, I have to take the unit vector into consideration. So it will be nothing but A21, where A21 represent the unit vector along this direction. So as the unit vector is nothing but, it is a representation of the direction of the force. Now I can write this one 9 into 10 to the power 9 in place of 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0. It will be Q1 Q2 divided by, either I can write R21 or R12 because the magnitude will be same. So let us write R21. So this one square. Now what is A21? We know that the unit vector is nothing. I can write R21 vector is nothing but this one. If I will be taking the unit vector into consideration, I can write A21 is nothing but R21 vector divided by R21 vector magnitude. So I can write, instead of A21, I can write R21 vector divided by R21 vector magnitude. So if I will be taking this one, the vector form, so F21 will be nothing but 9 into 10 to the power 9 Q1 into Q2 divided by R21 magnitude, this one Q R2. So this is nothing but the vector representation of this one. So similarly I can find out the force F12. So F12 will be nothing but, similarly I can write this one in place of F12. So F12 will be nothing but 9 into 10 to the power 9 Q1 Q2 divided by R12 magnitude Q R12. So you can see that F12, the magnitude of both the vectors are same. F12 and F21 are same, but the directions are different. When I am telling F21 means it is the force on 1 due to 2. Similarly, if I am taking F12 means it is the force on 2 due to 1. So that is nothing but the representation. Similarly, so I can write F12, it is nothing but minus of F21. So this is nothing but the vector representation of Coulomb's law, this one. So let us go to a problem. So before that, I want to tell you, as the Coulomb's law states that the force of attraction between two point charges. What do you mean by point charge? So point charge is nothing but it is having you can say it is having negligible dimension. So that is called a point charge. Now let us take a problem. Suppose the three charges are placed on the vertices of an equilateral triangle. So now suppose these are given. Suppose it is 0.1 meter, this one is 0.1 meter, this one is also 0.1 meter, and charge of 0.25 microcoulomb are placed on the vertices of an equilateral triangle. All are 0.25 microcoulomb. So suppose this one is 1, this one is 2, or you can say this one is A, this one is B, this one is C. So find out the force on this charge due to these charges. So how to get the resultant of these two charges? So now you can say that the force on C due to A will be along this direction. It will be away from this one, because you see as there will be repulsive forces. These are having same polarity. Similarly, the force on C due to B will be along this direction. Now what will be the resultant of these two forces? Now as you know that this one is also 60 degree, this one is also 60 degree. So I can say this one will be 60 degree. Similarly, this one will be also 60 degree. So this one is 0.25 microcoulomb. So this one will be 60 degree. So what will be this one? This one will be 30 degree. This one will also be 30 degree. So what is this one? You see, this one is nothing but FAC. It will be directed along this one. Similarly, this one will be FBC. So as you know that as these are the charges are same, so FAC, you can say FAC, this magnitude is nothing but FBC. Suppose this one is F. I can say this one is F. So what is the resultant force? So the resultant force is given by, if I resolve this component, so obviously the vertical component of this one will be along this direction, and the vertical component of this force FBC also will be along this direction, and the horizontal component of these two forces will be getting cancelled because the charges are same. So what will be that one? So resultant force will be F cos 30, because I am taking this one as F, so it will be F cos 30, this component I am taking, plus F cos 30. So it will be nothing but 2F cos. So thank you all. In the next class we will be covering electric field strength, electric field intensity, so and the application of Gauss law. What is the Gauss law? Application of Gauss law, which is related to both the +2 syllabus and the 12th physics syllabus, and also it is included in the electrostatics of electromagnetic theory. So thank you all. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe, share, and hit the like button if you liked it. So thank you all. Thank you for attending my classes.